Welcome to Sitcom Showdown, a podcast that reviews classic sitcom episodes and inducts them into our very own Hall of Fame. As usual, one of us has chosen a sitcom episode and the other guy has no idea what it's going to be. Will they already know it? Will they love it? Can they be convinced that it's worthy? Let's find out on the Sitcom Showdown. Hello and welcome back to episode 51 of Sitcom Showdown. It's Jeff is here and you're over there, Steve. Hello,
yes.
Steve.
I'm excited. It feels like we're turning over a new chapter.
Yes. And it's your turn this time around.
Yes. I've been looking forward to this.
Right.
What have I chosen? I've chosen an episode of a sitcom called Get a Life.
Sounds American.
No signs of recognition, but yes, you're right, it is American.
Right.
And it's an episode called Chris's Brain Starts Working.
Uh-huh.
So this is episode 9 of season 2, and I'll give you a description of Get a Life, which has been edited down from Wikipedia.
Oh.
Chris Peterson is a carefree, childlike bachelor who refuses to live the life of an adult.
Uh-huh.
At the age of 30, Chris still maintains a career delivering the St. Paul Pioneer Press, a job that he has held since his youth.
Oh.
I.e., he's a paperboy.
Oh, so he doesn't deliver it as if he's the editor
No,
putting
no.
all the mock-ups together.
No,
and
he's not putting it out. He's putting it in letterboxes.
This is terrible.
He is depicted as being childish, naive, gullible, foolish, occasionally irresponsible, and extremely dim-witted.
Oh.
His lack of intelligence is exaggerated to absurd levels. And I said, in brackets, important to this episode.
Okay.
He's thicker than a whale omelette, in short. Chris moved out of his parents' house at the beginning of the second season, much to his parents' amazement and joy, and into the garage of ex-cop Gus Borden, played by Brian Doyle Murray. Gus is a gruff, demeaning sociopath with minimal tolerance for Chris's antics, which Chris seems oblivious to.
Right. So there's a bit of an odd couple situation going on there.
Yes, certainly odd.
Okay.
And this is from the Fox network in the US, as we've already said.
Home of Married with Children.
Yes, well, I was just about to mention that. The 2 seasons, as I said before, ran from September the 23rd, 1990 to March 8, 1992. So I think it was, what do you call it? Running...
Yeah, concurrently. Yeah, it totally was.
MWC.
Oh, yeah. Far out.
Let me tell you, well, you know about Chris Elliott.
Nope.
Yes, Chris is played by Chris Elliott, who was the co-creator. We discussed him in episode 47 of Sitcom Showdown because he played Mayor Roland Shit in Schitt's Creek.
Oh, okay. Right,
Yes.
right.
Also known for sketches on Late Night with David Letterman, recurring roles on Everybody Loves Raymond and How I Met Your Mother, films such as Cabin Boy, There's Something About Mary, Scary Movie 2, and Groundhog Day, where he played the cameraman.
Right, so lots of experience. However, we're catching him at the early end of...
Oh, yes, but he was the lead.
Yeah.
The lead in this one, and the co-creator, so yes.
Okay.
Is
It's
it
all
the
coming
zenith
back to me
of
now.
his career? Possibly.
Could be.
Who knows? Brian Doyle Murray plays Gus, bro of Bill Murray,
Oh, yeah, okay.
who was also in Groundhog Day, as the mayor Buster Green, and loads of other stuff. He's got a very distinctive voice, which you'll probably recognise.
Ah. That's his sort of voice.
Yeah, a bit like that. Just maybe we can capture some of that in our clip later. So Brian played Wayne, Kelly's boss, in season 7 of Married with Children. It was an episode called Kelly Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Aha.
He was the boss in a diner,
Yep.
and Kelly got a job as a waitress. Is that ringing any bells?
Well, I seem to think she got a job as a roller waitress, but I could be mixing that up with another show.
Might be another episode.
She's on her roller skates, yeah.
He was impressed by her knowledge of what a knife and fork and plate were.
That's the completeness of her knowledge.
Yeah. Well,
So she must have retained that particular...
He said that's all you need to know to be a waitress.
Oh, okay. You don't need to know how to add up or read menu
No,
items?
she wasn't working the till, Jeff.
No,
Steady
fair
on.
enough.
So I heard about this cult classic when reading up on Chris Elliott for the aforementioned episode 47 and started delving into it. I was particularly intrigued by the fact that the lead character dies in quite a number of episodes.
Oh.
And I assume you haven't watched it at all.
No.
No, well, there you go. Well, shall we head off and watch it then, Jeff?
All right, let's do that.
Hey, what do you know? I'm not dead after all.
Yeah, me either. In fact, I feel better than before. Rejuvenated. Indefatigable.
I guess we did develop an immunity after we passed out.
Oh, no, Gus. No, my naive little vixen. No. What we experienced was a simple toxin-induced coma.
Something screwy, kid. You're talking and making sense at the same time.
Interesting. Not only that, but I also seem able to follow a conversation. I guess the trick is not to hum cartoon theme songs in your head while other people are talking.
Hey, maybe the toxins caused you to develop a case of the smarts. Damn. You get a fancy new case of the smarts, and what do I get? Zip.
No, my self-effacing patron, no. Look, you're now able to fold paper into elegant forms.
What kind of voodoo is this?
It's not voodoo. It's called origami.
You're making my head hurt, kid. Turn it off.
Geez, I'm able to understand everything now. I even know how that professor on Gilligan's Island made those really cool things out of coconuts. Watch. Voila! A CD player with surround sound.
Wow, kid. I'll bet with a watermelon you could make me a really cool 8-track for my truck.
Oh, back to reality, Jeff.
Ah,
Yes, that was a strange trip.
yep.
Now, should we start our little run-through of what happened?
Yes, you do the synopsis, and I'll put my feet up
You-
for the next 20 minutes.
No,
and-
you've got to chime in.
Okay, right.
Well, we start in Chris and Gus's dining room. I think they're sitting at the table. Chris's tooth falls out,
Yep.
and he's actually got a pocket full of teeth that have fallen out.
Mm.
And Gus's finger has grown extraordinarily long.
Oh,
He's
you
one
go,
of
no
his
matter
little-
how many times I cut it off, it keeps growing back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Chris is very jealous because if he had a pinky like that, he would put 1,000 pinky rings on it and be the talk of the town.
Oh.
Anyway, they're discussing these deformities, and there's a knock at the door. It's a guy in a hazmat suit, and Chris makes some appalling joke about being a Girl Scout trying to sell cookies, which of course it's not. He's come to warn them that the entire neighbourhood is sitting on top of a toxic waste dump.
Ooh.
Doesn't sound good, does it?
No.
Chris doesn't get it, and
Still thinks it's someone trying to raise money for something.
Gus doesn't buy into the argument that toxic waste is bad for you.
No, I love his line there, but I'll bring it up later.
Yes, okay. Where do you stand on toxic waste being bad for you?
I think it's bad for you.
Yeah, you agree? Okay,
No doubt.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then we go to the credits, which is to the tune of Stand by R.E.M.,
Yeah,
which is a quality song. to
that
open the
surprised
show.
me. And I just want to go back to the toxic waste
Right,
thing because I was
okay.
having to think about that.
Go on then.
The fact that it has the word toxic in the title and the definition of toxic means it's not good for you. But never mind all that.
Oh, that's just the authorities using words to keep us down.
Pull the wool over our eyes.
Exactly.
As we'll soon find out, toxic waste can have fantastic effects.
Absolutely. So we come back and Gus has got a gun and the guys are dug in inside their lounge room and they've got sandbags around their position and that sort of thing
Ah,
to resist being relocated by the authorities.
they're not taking any guff from
Fair
the man.
No way. That's right. So they've got the front door covered. But of course the guy who previously appeared at the front door, he's come to the back door this time. And he basically discharges his duty by advising them that they need to get out or there's going to be problems,
Yeah,
health
consequences for them.
problems. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, they tell him to get lost, so he walks out. And we get this montage set to a groovy toe-tapping tune, which is Strange Brew
Oh, okay.
by Cream.
Mm-hmm. With Eric Clapton
Yes.
and Ginger Baker
Yep, all those people.
and the other bloke,
Yeah. Mr. Cream?
Mitch Mitchell. No,
No. Okay.
he was in the other band.
Yes. All right.
Shut
So
up, Jeffrey.
In this montage, we've got green slime coming out of the tap, which Chris drinks. We've got Gus's hair coming out. we've got Fido the dog having been turned into a skeleton,
Yeah.
but his tail is still wagging as he gets fed. And they're having dinner, and there's this, what appears to be a turkey or something like that in the middle of the dining table, and it's
Expanding and
contracting like it's wheezing and breathing, or it's come to life or something like that since it's been cooked. Chris feeds a forkful of this turkey or whatever it is, this delicious roast heaving meat, into a mouth that's growing in his side.
Oh. And it does a big burp. You
He
see,
wipes its mouth with a little
napkin. But then you think, that's the joke. But it's not. It was a setup for if you... Gus says, if you don't shut up, I'll punch you in both your mouths.
Yeah.
And you go, yes, well done.
At the end of this montage, they're both slumped over the table after having eaten, and they wake up, and Chris's ear comes off, and they end up both incapacitated on the floor, and they think they're dying, and there's a touching moment when they try to touch fingers. Now, I thought this was reminiscent of Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam.
Absolutely.
Is that what they were going for?
I reckon.
There you go. I'm glad we can agree on that. But they're not dead. In the next scene, they wake up, and they're actually feeling better. Chris is starting to use big words.
Uh-oh.
That's very strange. Like toxin-induced coma, whereas previously he couldn't spell pants.
Yeah.
That was always troubling him. Gus cracks a beer, of course, and he conjectures that the toxin may have made Chris smart.
Oh.
And he can now spell big words, like engorged. Jeff, can you spell engorged?
I can.
We'll go on then.
E-N.
G-O-R.
G-O-R-G-E-D.
That's very good. Maybe you could go on a spelling bee.
Oh, I could.
So, Gus's toxin-induced superpower is to do origami.
Yeah, that's just... But they use it well later on.
Yes, he puts it to good use. Anyway, they think, what are they going to do with Chris's newfound brain power? Mm-hmm. Are they going to cure diseases? Save the rainforests? No, they're going to win he's going to win every single spelling bee on the planet. Of course. Let's go with that.
No, not on the planet. But we'll find out we're spoiling stuff.
Don't give it away. So they start local, where Chris wins easily, and Gus, who Chris expected to be quite bored by the whole spelling bee affair, is very enthusiastic because he's discovered that spelling bees have the best open bars.
Which is a ridiculous statement in itself.
Why? How many spelling bees have you been to?
But schools don't supply open bars. Now.
Maybe. So we go through another montage, which is spelling bee after spelling bee. One in England, one in Italy, one in France, and one on the moon.
You left out the best one in Australia, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
No.
Australia is upside down.
Yeah, spelling bee on the moon. I'm sure this will come up in conversation later.
Yes. Gus has got a hat and a beer corresponding to each country.
Yeah,
except
so he's
in
got
France.
his bowler hat in Britain and his warm ale, and then in France he's got presumably a beret and
he's got a beret and a glass of Riesling
wine.
or something. Well, it wouldn't be Riesling, I don't know, whatever it is. Some kind of white wine. And he's still doing origami at each place as well. That's set to the tune of Working Hard for the Money.
Yep.
Because he's working hard for the money, right?
Yeah. Which I think they used in the very same episode of Married with Children you mentioned earlier, where Kelly's got a job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Similarities.
Yeah, that's right.
Gus is slapping toxic goo on Chris like he was a boxer. You know how when they get
Sponge him down.
When they get a cut, they put that special stuff on.
Oh, yeah.
Putting that on to make sure he doesn't lose his smarts. Anyway, after this, they're back home and we discover that Chris is burned out. He's surrounded by trophies, though. He's won every spelling bee that they've been to. And he's complaining about the bee groupies knocking on his hotel door at all hours. Now, this didn't get as much of a laugh from you as I was expecting.
No.
Okay. Well, we know that the street countdown groupies are the most beautiful and voracious of all groupies. So
that's right. And it's a similar thing, isn't it?
Where would you rate the bee groupies on the...
Well, I'd say, they're lower down the pecking order because, of course, in Countdown, you have to do numbers as well as letters.
Yes. What, are they above the shoe groupies or lower than the shoe groupies?
Ah, well. I'm gonna. Okay, so if I have to go top three,
You're really getting into the
it'll
swing
be
of
countdown
the
groupies,
lists.
then shoe groupies, then spelling bee groupies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. Chris wants to retire from all this spelling bee business, but Gus wants him to continue on because the next one is the World Championship, right?
No, Chris now wants to devote himself to his edible clothing line and his cheese-flavoured pants.
Yes, his range of edible clothing, that's right. It's a noble aspiration. Yes, but the prize on the line at the World Championships, which is the next one, is a jewel-encrusted dictionary.
Right.
Anyway, Gus prevails in this argument. So we cut to the World Championships, which is against a Russian chap who must be Chris's Ivan Drago. And Gus has got the towel on the bucket, like this is a boxing match again. And Chris
And he's
spits.
wearing the beanie, just like
the trainer.
Paulie.
Yes. And the first word that Chris gets is titmouse. And he falls on the floor laughing, which suggests that the effects of the toxin are wearing off.
Uh-oh.
Gus is saying, oh no, he hasn't done that since his brain kicked into gear. The clock is ticking down and he pulls that word off. But yes, as I said, Gus is concerned because he also can't do origami at this point. And the container of toxic waste has run dry.
Yep. The coffee mug full of toxic waste.
Yep.
Did it have toxic waste written on it?
Yes,
Ah.
of course.
It's a nice shortcut for us viewers.
Exactly. Just in case you were confused about what was going on. Anyway, Ivan Drago spells his next word with no problem. And then it comes back to Chris and he's asked to spell pants, which is his nemesis
word, yeah.
Yes, it's his Moriarty of spelling. And he inevitably fails. The only thing he starts with a K, with the silent K.
Yep.
And the crowd insults him. They basically run forward to mug him. And they arrive home cloaked in failure, and everyone's down on them. We find that the toxic waste has been pumped out in their absence, which is not good news. Gus is disgusted with Chris, and because he's now reverted back to being completely stupid.
Yep.
And he muses that perhaps if he put Chris in a bath full of gasoline and sewage, he might be able to induce the same effect. Chris isn't even listening at this point because he was humming George in the Jungle inside his head. And Gus walks off inside and announcing that Chris's days of special powers are over. And then with Gus having gone inside, Chris says, I think I'll just go down to the shop and buy some candy.
Yeah.
And he leaps into the air
And
with his new superpower, which is flying.
taking off.
And off he goes. Yes.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous? What do you... What could you mean?
I said to you no more than 5 minutes ago that the toxic waste had worn off, so how could he now develop flight? Now, if he just hopped into a nice swimming pool full of toxic waste, sure, he might have developed flight. But no, anyway, there's no point trying to cram this show into the boundaries of reality.
That's right. I was wondering, though, what he might have done with his power of flight.
Don't know.
Anything you want to, having concluded our synopsis, anything you want to say before we launch into...
I was going to challenge you to do the George of the Jungle theme song.
Yes, George of the Jungle.
Yeah.
Something.
Friend to you and me.
Watch out for that tree. Yeah, and that's where what does he say? That's the bit where he
loves that bit. I can't remember the exact line.
Some reference to it.
Good. Well, well done there, Steve.
I've got a couple of opening thoughts.
Right, okay.
Chris gets smart without getting wise or any more mature. And his first instinct is to use his intelligence to get his own back on the smart kids who must have been dissing him when he was a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that.
So revenge. As soon as you get some power, you want revenge.
That's it.
Oh.
Don't do anything adult or mature with it. I like Gus's response to the discovery of toxic waste. On one hand, he's prepared to stay and fight to the death.
Yeah.
But as soon as the opportunity arrives and an open bar is on offer, he leaves home for a non-stop round-the-world spelling bee tour.
Yeah.
So he wanted to stay home and was prepared to die to stay home, but then he takes off around the world for the next 6 months.
Oh, well.
What's with that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, having not watched any other episodes, I can't say if that's in line with his normal motivations or not, but there you go.
Okay.
But I do... when they were dug in and they're prepared to do anything to defend the house, Gus's genius line from the writers here is, "I'll fight to this boy's death before I give up my home."
Yes.
I love that sort of stuff.
He says, "I've got too many fuzzy memories of this place."
It's great.
Yes. I've just got a bunch of gags now to
Okay,
round out my...
Oh, well, that's not
my
much
list.
notes, but yeah, go
No.
for it. And I'll get my pen ready to cross out all the lines you're going to steal off me.
Or do you want to run off
No,
something?
that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, green sludge. I mean, I automatically give it
A tick.
an extra mark or two for green sludge,
Oh.
particularly when someone drinks it.
Right.
Off the back of my Garth Marenghi, my love for that Garth Marenghi episode.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, you're not going to come across too many sitcoms with green sludge in them, I've got to say.
Well, as we go, we're
I never
discovering...
saw that on Seinfeld.
I think if we were to write our own fantastic sitcom episode, we're discovering some elements that we would have to include in it.
Okay, so we have to
Groupies.
crowbar
Groupies and
green sludge.
drinking green sludge.
Oh, okay,
That's what I've come up with so far.
fair enough.
But we'll keep adding to that as we go.
Yep.
Cartoonish violence against animals, Jeff? Fido the dog?
Well,
No?
that's no.
No,
Well,
not having
it's not
bar
a cartoon, and but the Goodies isn't a cartoon, and they do fantastic violence against animals. But yeah, it's a bit post-violence because it's already
it's already
It's already
Fido's
a
already a
skeleton.
skeleton. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
so no marks on that front.
Oh, okay.
No way.
Bother.
Yeah.
Gus asks Chris if he knows how to fire a gun, and Chris says this could be an early front runner for darkest gag of
The
episodes
next 50
51 through to
yeah.
to 100. He says, "Sure, my dad showed me. You put this end in your mouth and you you pull the trigger
With your big
down
toe.
there with the big toe."
He was very clear on that.
Yeah.
So clearly his dad thinks Chris is useless. I'm going to encourage him to commit suicide.
Yes.
That was hilarious, and we haven't done it justice here in the delivery, clearly. But that's right, front and centre on my list of fantastic lines. But Chris then goes to high five Gus, and Gus just leaves him hanging.
Yeah.
And much like the green slime for you, I think any sitcom episode that has a denied high five and you leave someone hanging, like, you get bonus points for that. That's always
Have
cool.
we had any of those?
There's probably been one or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just after that happens, Gus tells Chris to watch out for friendly fire because he tends to drink heavily during standoffs, which is even more hilarious than when you remember that he used to be a policeman.
Yeah. That whole section was great before it went on the spelling bee tour and went a bit mad. Yep, no, these are all gold.
Okay. Yeah, we've already mentioned the line about having too many fuzzy memories of this place to leave it.
Yep.
Chris says, when they're talking about how they're not feeling so good, he says, "I've thrown up 100 times today," which is 2 more than normal.
No. Now, look, this is where we diverge, dude. Because I've written down a list of crappy gags, and it's, yes, puked 100 times, it's 2 more than normal. You could see that coming a mile away. No, that's crap. But I mean, let's say there were, I don't know, pick a nice round number, 100 gags in this episode.
Yep.
You're going to have some crap ones. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not seeing it the same way on that particular one.
Agreeing to disagree on that one.
Yes. Now look, and while we're on the
All right.
crappy gag
Right.
list,
All right.
the word Chris
You
has
mean the
always
good-
had
the great
trouble
gag
with,
list?
no, is pants. There's no silent K.
Yeah.
No one thinks there's a silent K in pants. That absolutely does not work for me. That's 2 examples of crappy gags. And I'll give you one that made up for it. So Chris and Gus are barely able to move and they're lying on the floor, and then you think they're in their death throes. Yep. And poor old Gus is on the floor and he starts bagging Chris out and says, "Come on down here and
Fight me like a man."
fight me like a man." And Chris goes, "No one calls me a man." And collapses on the floor. Yeah.
Yes, I did like that one.
I mean, that's just an objectively brilliant line.
So when they haven't died and they come to and they're starting to feel better, Chris says, "I can follow conversation. I think the trick is not to hum cartoon theme songs in your head while other people are talking."
Wow.
That's
That was
hilarious.
good.
Okay, so to continue our list of brilliant gags, he is introduced and the first spelling bee is Chris from the Death Zone.
No. Yes, that was good. But and he's called Chrissy.
From the Death Zone.
Not Chris, but Chrissy from the Death Zone.
And this is hilarious because when the guy in the hazmat suit comes to the front door, he says, "This whole place is a death zone."
Yeah. And Chris is like, woohoo!
So they obviously took that and ran with it.
Yeah. That's how they connect one bit to another bit. Yes.
In Italy, he can spell a word in Italian. He's that smart.
Yes, but they're conducting the whole thing in English. I think, we've glossed over this whole competition bit. So I'll just say that at one point, because I was really enjoying it up to what we'll just call the halfway point before they go on this superpowers tangent.
Yep.
And I was thinking, I'm enjoying this, but this set is really getting me down. They've got to get out of this house. And if this whole sitcom's always set in the house,
This is so cheap.
this is going to bloody drive me bonkers. They need to just go somewhere. And then you go, excellent, they're off at the spelling bee. I mean, this isn't a great set or anything, but they're somewhere else. And then they go to all these different countries and go to the moon. And it's the same set with the same walls, the same painting. They just change the painting in the background.
It's the same
and the
people.
costumes, the same people.
The guy announcing it's the same.
The whole
every-
thing's done on 3 sets or something. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, yeah.
Hilarious.
So I got what I wished for.
Yeah,
But
kind of.
yeah, but at least when they got to Australia, the whole set was upside down. And
Yeah, that is so funny.
yeah.
They go down under and the whole
It's
set's
so-
flipped on its head. They're upside down.
It's so bad, it's good.
And then
because it's the
he
most
hands
predictable,
he hands the trophy to Chris.
and it falls.
It drops
upwards.
on the ground.
Oh, no way.
There's another line where Gus is trying to convince Chris to go back for the World Championships, and Chris says, "I need another dictionary like the Iliad needs 100 more verses about Agamemnon."
Yes, we've finally got some highbrow humour.
Yes, I love it.
Oh dear.
And then when things go pear-shaped at the World Championships, because Chris is exposed as a fraud, someone in the crowd yelling at Chris says, "You must have got your intelligence from toxic waste."
What? Ah. I can see you're really enjoying all this.
It's hilarious. And then my last one is where they've arrived back home and the guy in the hazmat suit announces to what he thinks is going to be their pleasure
Sure.
that they've
Oh, right.
pumped all the
Toxic
toxic waste out and they can return home.
It's all right,
safely.
guys. We've fixed it for you.
Yeah, anyway, they're starting to moan about this, and Gus, I think, says he's going to sue them for pumping the toxic waste out of his neighbourhood.
Yeah.
And he says, whoa, access to toxic poisoning is a privilege, not a right.
And look, let's give a shout out because I instantly recognised him as Director Skinner from the X-Files.
Yes, Mitch Pileggi.
Oh, it was great. I'm assuming X-Files is a Fox show.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep. Now you've shut your laptop there,
The
Steve,
laptop is down.
which means you've
I think I've...
you've done
I've
enough to
said
present
enough.
a case. Ah, crikey, blimey. All right, well, let's get into my leftovers here. I'll just go through all of them in chronological order here,
Yep.
so it makes sense. Now, the other line I love is when Gus is arguing away about the merits of toxic waste, and he goes, "Listen, the theory that toxic waste can hurt you is bunk." So he's obviously one of these conspiracy theorist dudes. And,
Yep.
So I think this works. You know what I mean? Because it's so fast paced, and what you know that straight away because from the very second the show opens, they start with a pun. I can't remember what the pun was.
Yeah, he calls him Gus for the...
Yeah, Gusper the friendly
Gasper,
host.
the friendly host, that's it.
Yeah.
And he's been working 2 days on that.
Did he say that?
Yep.
You know, under 20 seconds, they've probably got the tooth falling out gag and the big finger gag and then the toxic waste things. And the whole setup is done super quickly. Yeah, I always appreciate that. Yeah, anyway, sorry. After you.
I can't claim that it's got intricately woven plot lines or
Or quality productions.
high quality production or anything like that. Just really makes me laugh.
All right,
It's
well,
completely stupid.
So where do you stand on the delivery by the two actors? What do you think of their work?
Yeah, really good.
Okay.
I like the bit where Chris is walking over to the door to open it to the guy who's got the hazmat suit on.
Yep.
And in the 3 seconds it takes him to get to the door, he's like, starts humming this little tune or something like that, which is annoying.
Because his attention span's so short.
Yeah, plus it just fills the
gap.
the gap that takes him to get over to the door.
Yeah. So he's very entertaining.
Yes.
So for me, look, I've said before, it works. It's fast. I could watch a lot more of it. I'm a little bit concerned that if this is the best episode you're putting forward of it, then maybe the rest of it's not going to be as good as this. But we're not judging the rest of it, I suppose.
What are you saying? That you're putting it into the Hall of Fame?
No, hang on, let me finish. Yeah. So to quote my notes here,
Right.
it's brainless, probably not worthy, but I want to put it in. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So it is brainless. It's not worthy. I do want to put it in. And I think because it reminds me so much of the goodies in that anything is possible. And it's going to veer left and right. And it's so fast and so wacky. And it completely dispenses with reality. And I really enjoyed it.
I'm shocked.
But at the same time, I do think it's cheap.
But you didn't like the whole spelling bee half of it.
I got plenty of laughs out of it. I laughed out loud quite a lot while watching that.
All right.
Yeah, I just thought...
I'll stop trying to talk you out of it.
No,
then.
don't try to talk me out of it. But like the whole second half was just spelling bee, spelling bee, spelling bee. I'm thinking this is what they're going to do with this brilliant premise they've set up of superpowers and everything. Endless spelling bees.
Yep.
But there was so much in there that made you laugh.
Oh.
All right, so perhaps somewhat shockingly, what's the name of this show?
Get a life.
Get a Life, thank you. Even you had to pause for a minute there to figure out what it was. Get a Life
You just thrown me.
has made it into the Hall of Fame. I'm going to go and watch more of this, and perhaps like us, if you do want to watch it, you can find it on YouTube like we did in tremendously poor quality.
Yes, very, very poor quality.
Yeah.
But it's free.
Yeah, no complaints on that part. And we will be back, who knows when, for episode 52, which will be my turn.
Yes. In theory, in about a fortnight.
Yeah.
See if that works.
All right, cool. Well, thanks again for listening, dear listener, and downloading.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Yep. See ya.
Join us next time on Sitcom Showdown when we'll be putting another 5-star episode under the microscope. And in the meantime, you can contact us with feedback on Facebook, Twitter @Sitcom Showdown, or by email sitcomshowdown@gmail.com.